Hi everyone and welcome to Club 4 episode 12 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome in. So last episode we got a good start to our league campaign for this second season with Connah's Quay Nomads in the Welsh top flight. And what I wanted to achieve between now and then was to remain unbeaten, put the pressure on Bangor City and also on the New Saints, who were both ahead of us last season in the league. And we've managed to do that so far. One draw, a series of wins around that, and we are top of the table. Bangor City, though, are today's opponents. Can we take the 3 points off of them? Let's find out. Welcome back to Connah's Quay Nomads. It has gone brilliantly well. If we go straight into the schedule, you'll see that we've now played 5 Premier Division matches so far this season. We've won 4 of them, drew once against Bala, and they drew with us 1-1. Away from home for us, we didn't really get going, to be honest. We got a 58-minute equaliser for us, but other than that, we didn't really threaten their goal too much. Around that, though, we have been scoring goals. 3-0, 2-0, 4-3, 4-1 were the scorelines in our wins so far this season. But now we get 4 very, very tricky games all in a row. Bangor City are the first up today. They finished second in the league last season, a position ahead of us who were third. And then immediately after that game, we play the New Saints, who were last season's champions. Cardiff Met Uni are the team after that, and they were just behind us in 4th. And then the 4th of these 4 tricky games are Colwyn Bay, and what makes them tricky is because that's my former club. So ultimately, they're always out for revenge. So 4 games might well decipher where we actually end up this season, even this early in the Premier Division cycle. So hopefully we can get some positive results. And it all starts with Bangor City. We were 4 points behind them last season, which isn't a lot. Can we take 3 off them now? Let's go find out. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice 2 things straight away. Firstly, we've still got the injury to Berry, our central midfielder. He's going to be out for a little while longer. If we go and hover over the fitness, he could do 45 minutes for us now. He's not fully back to fitness, having been out for 4 to 6 weeks with an injury. So we're going to leave him out again, continue to improve his fitness, and hopefully in the next game or 2 he'll be back. So that will be a real bonus to us to put him back in midfield. The other thing that the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice is that dotted through our starting lineup are several players not numbered 1 to 11. Those that have joined us so far this season will know I try and number my first 11 in my squad as 1 through 11. And we have 4 players in there not numbered 1 through 11, and there are a number of reasons for that. First off, Berry in midfield. Evans replaces him because of his injury. But then if we look through the sub bench particularly, most of those that I've taken out of the first team are on the sub bench, and you can see it's their conditioning. They've had to play a lot of football early on in the season to get this run of form going. I didn't want to particularly take in and out too many players too early in the season and unsettle them all. So we've kept a fairly solid number 1-11 to play most of the games. You can see the sub bench and a couple of others have had some game time. So ultimately, they're not all coming in cold, this 11 that we're playing today. But as I say, it is a little bit of a reshape because of those fitness issues. It's a shame that we've had to do it at the point where we play a big team, but I was hoping to get them through this and the next game before we had to. But there we go. That's just the way it happens sometimes. So for today's game against Bangor City, who are going to be tricky, we are at home, which helps, but we go in with Park in goal, Edwards at right back, Roberts at full back, Beaumont and Amos in central defence, Evans and Pinchard in central midfield, Rees on the right, Motrock on the left, Rees and Johnson up top, with a bench of Bodenham, Barrett, Hughes, Cullimore, Mitchell, Bowris and Lloyd. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So in terms of team talk, I've tried to rile them up a little bit, get them absolutely focused. So we've used the pump the fist gesture and basically said, come on, everyone, I know you want to beat our rival. Let's go and do this. They were ahead of us last season. We've got to reel them in somehow. Now is a good opportunity to do that whilst we are playing them at home this season. We play them again, of course, later in the campaign, a couple more times, because there's also a split at the end of this first part of the season where the top 6 continue to play each other home and away again. So we've got more games against them. But this puts out an early marker against our top-level opposition in this league to say that we're trying to be serious this season about bettering ourselves and getting to the top of the tree if we can. So let's see if we can do that. Early highlight, well, I say early, it's 13 minutes in. The first 10 minutes were quite quiet, but this is our first highlight. Johnson gets to the byline, then tries to put a cross in, but it misses out everybody, goes very, very deep on the right-hand side. But Reese collects it on the far right-hand side, settles it down quite nicely in a very, very good bit of control at this point here, swivels past the defender, hooks the cross back into the near post, and Reese at the near post, making pretty much his first start for us this season, has put the ball in the back of the net with a very good point-blank range header at the near post. We get a second highlight 16 minutes in. We're doing pretty well at holding onto the ball during this particular passage of play. We get a little bit lucky there, but regain it. Reese on the far side again, and Evans tries to poke the ball through to the striker, but the defender gets in the way and puts the block in. But Amos, our central defender, sorts it out for us at the back, gets us going again down the left-hand side. Mo Truck right to the byline, whips the cross in. The defensive header is there, and they get a chance to counter-attack. All of this one long highlight. Who knows where this is going to end? It's ending potentially with their opportunity. They've got it down the left-hand side. The cross comes in. The header goes over the top of the bar. It was a looping long-range header. Unfortunately for us, the goalkeeper didn't really have to do much with it. It's a second highlight in a row for them, though. 18 minutes on the clock, so time is ticking a little bit, but they've got another chance down the right-hand side. They whip the cross in. We get a good defensive header, and Reese picks up the loose ball for us on the right-hand side. Again, Evans tries to put it over the top for Reese to run onto. The defender gets there first. We're still putting the pressure on in midfield to try and win the ball back, though. They've broken the lines, but Reese again sorts it out. He's having a great game down this right-hand side, and he's got onto the through ball there down the right-hand side as well. He's out very wide. Can he whip the cross in? He does. He puts the ball in, and there's a tumble in the box for one of our players, and I think we've been given a penalty. Mo Truck was underneath it, was pushed by the defender. Penalty given, and our superstar Johnson steps up, and our superstar Johnson puts it straight at the goalkeeper, and we don't get the goal. I should stop bigging up my players before they do something. And now we've picked up an injury, unfortunately. Our left fullback, Callum Roberts, has been injured. Potential groin injury. Unfortunate for him. So fortunately, we've got his replacement on the bench in terms of John Hughes. But it's not ideal. A settled side that was playing well, was getting chances, causing them problems, has now had to be changed slightly. So hopefully we can maintain the discipline. If we look at the statistics for the game in the first half, we're approaching half an hour, and we've had more shots at goal, more shots on target, better XG rating, and now we have a second goal. Corner kick comes in from this near side. Pinchard on the corner kick puts it into a crowded penalty box. Lots of players in there, but the on-running Amos gets to run and jump over everybody because of his run into the box late, and he gets his head onto the ball, and he puts it, excuse me, into the back of the net for 2-0. 10 minutes to go till half-time. If we continue to look at the statistics for the match, you'll see our XG rating, the expected goals out of the chances that we've got, is far superior to theirs. So they haven't really troubled us too much. And we've just hit the crossbar there for a long-range effort as well. Unfortunately, it falls to one of their defenders and they managed to get the ball away. But again, we're putting the pressure on. 14 shots at goal for us, 5 for them, 6 in the end for them at the end of the first half. 8 shots on target, 2 for them. So you can see we are very dominant. We've now got to see it out professionally, though, and not cause ourselves any problems by conceding an early goal in the second half. That Callum Roberts injury was the only real down point to that first half. So into the dressing room we go. We can go and pump the fists again. Let's have a look and see what we can do here. I think I like this one. It says matches between close fought rivals are often settled by fine margins. Keep working hard. And that's what we need. If we take the foot off the gas at all, they could come into this game and cause us a problem late on if we're not careful. So focus the mind a little bit. We're going to go into the shouts at the beginning of the second half and fire them up as well. Just keep them honest. Keep them on the front foot. See if we can close this game out without a problem to us would be fantastic, because that would set down the marker properly against a direct rival to us. So 59 minutes on the clock. So we've had 15 minutes of play in the second half with not a lot happening. And here's the first highlight of the second half. And it's a highlight for us. Eventually, the header from Motruck goes over the top of the bar. It doesn't really challenge the goalkeeper too much. But again, good build-up play, specifically down the right-hand side. I think Reese is having a very good game for us down the right-hand side. But now is a highlight for Bangor City, so we'll see whether they can get cut through the lines or not, or whether we can defensively stop them in their tracks at some point. They're moving it more centrally from where they started on the left-hand side. They've switched it all the way to the right. There's the space. The cross comes in. The header goes over the top of the bar. I think, fortunately for us, the goalkeeper was in the right place. He would have closed down that space. But it still was a bit of a chance. They boot it clear from their defensive line on this particular highlight, 68 minutes on the clock, and we win it back in our defensive unit and set ourselves going again. Reese with a first-time ball onto Reese. To Reese and Reese is very interesting, isn't it, for a commentator? Now, a third goal has been scored. I'm not 100% sure whether Reese was onside or not. I think he might have moved slightly early. Let's see. So Reese out on that far side, cuts the ball across. Motruck on this left-hand side heads it back across goal. Actually, I think he might have held his run. I think he ran at the right point and managed to sort that out for us. And he did indeed. 70 minutes on the clock. We are now 3-0 up against a direct rival from last season. This is pretty spectacular, and we'll keep our unbeaten run at the start of this season going. We're going to pause the match there for a minute. And we're just going to go in and make a couple of changes just to freshen it up, keep that energy levels of our players up. So first off, we've got a yellow card for Motruck on the left-hand side. I don't want anybody going out of this game for red cards. So we're going to take that out of the equation. And then in the engine room of our midfield is where we need to make one change. I think, of course, we already made a change because we had to take out our left fullback early in the game. So I'm going to take Will Evans out and I'm going to put Cullymore into central midfield. And it's purely the conditioning. The match sharpness that he's got at the moment has diminished through the game. And I want extra energy in that midfield just to help us see out the game. So we're going to go straight back in. Not going to change the style of play. We're not going to take it into a defensive style or anything to hold out the game. We're going to keep playing our way and just try and keep the ball away from them, really. We've got 10 minutes to play, 80th minute just come and gone. We've got a throw into us down in the left-hand side. They win the header, and defensively they get a chance to clear it. They do clear it quite well, but then they give it back to us in midfield quite easily, really, and we figure out a chance for ourselves down the other end. Johnson finally gets the shot away, but he hits the post, and then they manage to boot that one clear as well. So even when they're on the break, we find a way to suppress them and get down the other end. Again, there's a highlight for us. This time, we do make a mistake a little bit, and they do clear it quite easily, and there's a lot of space for them to move into. Cullymore, though, there's the substitution in midfield, running back, using the extra energy that he's got to get back and put the tackle in, win the ball back for us, and set us going again. We lose the ball again in midfield. It's going to be one of those highlights where nobody seems to want it for a while. But they're going to get a chance here, it looks like. They're through on the right-hand side of the box. They cross it to the left-hand side. Again, the header comes in but goes over the top of the bar. They're creating a couple of chances in this second half, but nothing that's really worrying me, to be honest. With 3-goal advantage already, we're approaching the final whistle. There goes the final whistle, and we were really dominant. 21 shots at goal to their 15, 12 on target to their 4, 3.7 XG rating to their 1.5, 50% possession. So they had enough of the ball, but we were absolutely fantastic, especially down that right-hand side with Reese. He was a superstar for us today, ably supported by a couple of other players. So all in all, pretty perfect, I would say. So just before we figure out what we're coming back for next episode, we do have to think about what's just been. The first thing to say is that unfortunately Callum Roberts has been injured for 3 to 4 weeks, our left fullback. So he's going to be out of the frame for a little while. We've got an able replacement. He's fine, but he's not quite as good. So that's a little bit disappointing, but that just happens through the season at times. Second thing to talk about is if we actually click into the league table itself, you will see Connors Key Nomad sitting top of the table after playing 6 matches. We've got 16 points. Bangor now second in the division. They're on 10 points. We've managed to elongate the gap between the two of us. Now, the only thing that I'm concerned about at this point is the New Saints. The New Saints are sitting in 4th, and they're only on 9 points, but they've got 2 games in hand. And if they win those 2 games in hand, they'll only be a point behind. And they're very capable of that. They were runaway league winners last season. But next game that I play on this save is against them. If we could beat them, because we're on a magnificent run at the moment, if we could, that will potentially take us out of reach for them for a while as well and just settle us at the top of the table. If they beat us, it just reels us back in a little bit, doesn't it? So it's all still to play for. Some big games coming up. If we go back into the schedule, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through that run of fixtures that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. We're going to come back at the end of the month against Haverfordwest in the JD Cymru Premier Division, and I'm just going to catch you up on everything that happened in between times. We've also got a cup game against Airbus UK as well, so that will be an interesting one. See if we can get through another round of the cup with no major problems. But yeah, those few games coming up, the New Saints, Cardiff Met Uni, Colwyn Bay, all challenging in their own way. I will see how I get on with them. I'll update you on that next episode, and we will play Haverfordwest and see if we can keep this run going. If we are still top of the table after playing Haverfordwest, I think we're doing pretty darn well, to be honest. We'll see. Anyway, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. Hope your FM22 saves are all going great. Tell me about them in the comments below. Let me know what you're up to. Until next time here, though, thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.